Steve Pichenik, and this is Steve Talks. Hi, this is Dr. Pichenik, and I want to talk today about a very important event that's occurring in Singapore. Our President Trump, who a bold leader, a fearless leader, a man who does exactly what he wants to do. Many have described him as mercurial, erratic. I say that he knew exactly what he wanted to do in Singapore way long time ago. And let me explain what I mean. In 1960s, Fred Trump, his father, sent Donald Trump to New York Military Institute in New York State. He sent him there because he was unruly. But that's not the key issue. The key issue that Donald learned at that military academy was that the biggest problem for him as a person and for him as an envisioned military officer, which of course he never was the fact that there would be a nuclear war. Why? Because as a young man, he was involved or was partaking in the Cuban Missile Crisis, as I was at Cornell University. In other words, that confrontation between the Russians, the Soviets, and the United States, precipitated by John F. Kennedy because he was incoherent, indecisive, he had Addison's disease, made a mark on Donald Trump. As a result, decades later, he promised himself that he would create a system or a method by which he could denuclearize North Korea and make it safe from any nuclear war. That was his paramount concern. There's evidence of that in his writing years ago, and there's evidence of that in his thoughts that he marked down years ago. So what I'm saying, very simply, contrary to the New York Times and many other pundits, Trump did not just decide to go to North Korea on an impulse and create a treaty between North and South Korea. This was very much a part of his emotional and intelligent fabric. What makes it unusual is that unlike most of our presidents, particularly Bush Sr., who really did very little, and in his administration, the only thing that was accomplished was what I did in conjunction with Charles Twining of the Foreign Service, and that was to create a Cambodia which was peaceful and had its own government. But Bush never had anything to do with it. Baker had never anything to do with it. Reagan didn't even get involved in the takedown of the Soviet Union. I did with a bunch of other individuals in the intelligence community. So what I'm saying is that boldness is not attributed to all presidents. It's only certain ones. So Trump went out of his way, created a lot of distraction, denial, and distortion, and focused on that one thing that he will accomplish, and that will be a peace treaty, plus the elimination of nuclear weapons in North Korea and probably South Korea, and the withdrawal of many of our troops from South Korea, which we really don't need because they were there as a tripwire. So it's important for you, my friends, to understand that bold movements by bold presidents occur very occasionally. In my past, I would say Jimmy Carter had a bold moment, and that was when he created the Camp David Accord. He had made a lot of other mistakes, but from my point of view, again, I was involved in it. I'm not saying I'm the essential one, but with working with Stanfield Turner, the DCI, Director of Central Intelligence, we were able to create a plan, a strategy, and a tactic for Jimmy Carter to literally make peace in the Middle East for over half a century. No Democrat is given credit for it. Instead, they look to Bill and Hillary Clinton, two of the worst examples of people who are cowards, inept, and really quite lazy. They never created any bold movements. They never created any achievement which was marked. And instead, they eliminated all of the Arabists in the State Department to put in people who were not qualified. So what am I really saying? What I'm really saying is that boldness occurs among a few people at very rare times. But like Trump said, in order to be bold, you have to think great thoughts. You have to invest yourself with a great sense of importance And you have to be focused and dedicated to make that bold movement. And that's Trump's way of doing peace. Thank you and good night. Hi, this is Dr. Steve Pachenik, and this is Steve Talks.